Hi guys, Dane again. Wanted to go over the last part of plyometric training, so the single leg phase. So once again, as a continuation from last week, this is when you're at the end stage of strengthening, you've reached a plateau, your Achilles tendon pain is pretty good in the morning, it's not as tender to touch, you generally feel like it's improving, you can run and you're feeling pretty good about it. So this is how you'd progress your strength program once you've reached that plateau. So what they've found with a lot of research is that even though some people's Achilles pain settles and the pain's much improved, the musculotendinous complex isn't working as well as it should be. So whether that's still inhibited, whether there's learned behaviours of being scared to use it again. So this is just getting your confidence to sort of hop again and use your Achilles how you should, so that you're optimizing its function, and once again you're less likely to get a reoccurrence because you're getting it nice and strong and stiff again, and you're also improving performance because you're using your spring, your Achilles tendon spring again. So let's go through it without any further ado. So I just rolled up my pants so you can see a bit more of what I'm doing. So first stage would be, I'm just going to hold onto the wall. I often find holding onto the wall is good because it allows you to do it nice and straight, and just you can obviously progress to not holding onto the wall as you go. So I do 60 like this, just hopping, okay? So pretty similar to the double leg, but just on single leg. So 60 of them, and your whole leg, you're losing it as a loose sort of lever. You're just sort of absorbing the shock. So you're absorbing the shock for your hip, knee and ankle. So you're using all those tendons. And then, okay, so you've done that. You're feeling all right. Now let's do a stiff lever. So sort of stiffen the lever. So these are a bit shorter and faster. Your knee's not absorbing as much. You feel like it's going more through the tendons because you're not actually going into that eccentric sort of loading phase. You're sort of trying to use your muscles isometrically. That's quite tiring. So you do 30 of them. Then from there, everything going well, the next step is to start adding some movement. So I'll still keep trying to keep it stiff, but just go forwards and back really fast. So I do 30 of these. Okay, starting to get pretty tired. Then I'd go side to side, so holding onto that wall again just to get the control. And then as you get better, you don't have to hold on as much. 30 of those. You're still feeling alright. Then you start doing zigzags. So zigzags are when you go out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Yep. Okay, done 15 of them, then do the reverse. So in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Okay, so 15 of them, both variations, and then we add the step. Hopefully you can see that. Yep. So this is it's a pretty hard one. Yep. So you go up, back, look, try to stick the landing. That one's quite tiring, so it's about a 20 centimetre step, and you just have to do 10 of them. Then everything going well, so that might be like, you don't need to do all of these in your first go. Like you might have stopped just after the zigzags for your first go. You see how you pull up the next morning, you see how you are 2 days later, and you might repeat that 3 times, do it for a week. If that's all going well, you might add the step in and do 3 sets of 10. It's good to do both legs, and often you've tacked this on at the end of some heavy strength training as well. So after you've done the step, another progression, and as long as you're feeling all right, adding that step in at the end there, doing sort of 3 sets of 10 of them each leg. Then I'd also add in some hops for height. With this one, I'd just be like launching, so hopping as high as you can, and then trying to stick the landing. Yep. Whoop. So 10 of them. Now you can do this also off a step. To start practicing your landing strategy off a step. So you're at a height, and then you're hopping down and landing. So I'm starting here, hopping for height, yep, and then trying to land. Yep. Whoop. Trying to control the knee better than I did just then. If you're having trouble with that, sometimes stepping is a bit easier just for a while. And try to stick the landing. Yeah. So I do about 10 of them. And then a progression from either the stepping box jumps or the hopping box jumps, which was the harder one, was to do a counter movement jump. So you hop, and then you rapidly hop again. So you're trying to get that reflex. So you hop, and then hop again. So yeah, about 10 of them. As you can see, they're all progressing in either direction or height or speed as you go through. But that's the general single leg routine that I would carry out. I think I'd just be cautious the first time. Obviously you've gone through all the double leg stuff, so I think you'd manage the single leg hopping for 60 on the spot, and then doing some stiff knee hopping on the spot for 30, and then doing side to side for 30, and then doing forward and back for 30, and then doing 15 each zigzag. That would be a great first session. See how you respond with that. All good there. At the step in, where you're hopping up and down the step really fast. If that goes well, then add the hop for height in as well. If that goes well after hopping for height, then start adding the box jumps where you're hopping off the step. Now you can progress that by either just doing the step first and sticking the landing really well, hold it for 3 seconds, make sure the knee's nice and strong, make sure you're nice and soft on the ground and really absorbing the load. Then you add the hop rather than the step, because it's just harder to control because you have to move your leg quicker. And then obviously you can increase that by doing the counter movement jump, or before you add the counter movement jump, add the increase the height of the step. So that's a pretty low step. That's probably only 15 to 20 centimeters, but you can start thinking about doing a 30 centimeter step potentially, and trying to control it off that. Alright, that's single leg plyometric exercises for distance runners. So it's a nice little routine. I don't think it's going overboard, and it's short and fast. It's nice and quick, but the trick is being ready for it and not overdoing it initially, starting easy. Like I said with the other video, start with the double leg stuff, get through that. As long as your symptoms are okay the next morning and the next few days, then you can slowly go through the little routine that I've just gone through, and start to make that a 2 or 3 day a week kind of addition to your strength program, so that you're really starting to use your Achilles as a spring again and a lever. So it's helping performance, but I also think it's reducing chance of injury because you're making it nice and stiff again. And you're just enhancing the function again. You're practicing using it again, so that's only going to help rather than being scared to use it. Alright, I'll be back next week with progressing Achilles tendinopathy and knowing how to return to run. It's quite a complex question, and there's a lot of variability, obviously, depending on your running history and where you are at with your Achilles tendinopathy and how irritable it is. But I'll go through a bit of a step-to-step routine that I go through, and it's not a recipe base for everyone. It's obviously a bit of clinical reasoning and thought to it, but I'll go through what I generally think when I'm trying to get someone back to running. Alright, that's next week. Anyway, loving these videos, so let me know how I can improve them, and I'll just keep churning them out. All right, bye.